Alright, how y'all doing? Start this video off with, not a joke. I understand what day it is. It's April 1st, 2021. We don't do April Fool's Day here, okay? So, I've just come off of a 1 month smartphone detox. Made a video about it yesterday and I've kind of gone over some bits and bobs over the month. And I said in yesterday's video that I would like to try and go this month, all of April, no joke, with a Linux-based PinePhone. It's the PinePhone post-market OS edition from the folks at Pine64. It's an alright little phone. It's not super powerful. I will not be running post-market. The cool thing about this is it is literally Linux scaled down to a phone UI. This is full-fat ARM Linux, ARM being the type of processor that's in the phone. Full-fat ARM Linux scaled down to a phone screen, and if you have a dongle to plug into the bottom, you can actually get video out to your telly and use it like a desktop. You have, full terminal and all that kind of stuff. It's Linux on a phone. Remember that, because that's very, very, very important when it comes to the use of this phone, or at least it will be for the next month. This thing is still like super early in development. Beta, I believe. I think the beta version of the phones have just come out. So they had the Braveheart edition, super early edition, the community edition, so like post-market Manjaro, the Mobian one I think was the last one they had, and now they're on the beta version of the phone. Software's not great. Right, it's still very, very, very raw, and it should be said that if you are looking at a Linux phone and you're hoping to get big boy mainstream apps on this thing, it's never going to happen because you will not get big company support for a device like this. You're just not going to get it. The same way you don't get it for Linux. Okay? Linux, the operating system, does not have an official insert program here. So like Twitter client, WhatsApp client, Facebook app. Like, the trick with phones, the apps on your phone replace the websites you use on your PC. That's what apps are for. Okay? It's a one-stop shop. Press a nice little button and it loads up. It's not even really a containerized website, but it's all of the content from the website delivered to you in a nice tiny little bucket kind of thing, in a nice little package. This isn't ever going to have any of that stuff. None of those companies are going to support this thing because they don't care. This isn't Android. This isn't iOS. This isn't in hundreds of thousands of people's hands. They don't care. So what I'm likely to find was obviously it's Linux. So I'm going to find all of the standard Linux apps that I would normally use. And I feel I'm going to have to use the browser a lot. So with, as long as you keep that in mind, I imagine this is going to be okay. I'm going to have to use this thing like an old school iPhone. Back before the iPhone had apps. I've mentioned that in previous videos about the PinePhone. That there used to be a time before we had apps. We would just use web apps or just go to the browser and type in a website and use the mobile-friendly version of the site on a phone, and that was it. Then apps became a thing, and that's all people seem to want. Apparently, if there isn't an app, you can't use it. I don't know. I understand that there are some features that you might want an app for. For example, like Signal Messenger likes you to go through the app There isn't really a web client for it. WhatsApp has a web app, but it kind of requires you to have a smartphone turned on using the WhatsApp app that's been authed and verified to do the jiggly pokery on that. But I'm going to give this a go. Keep everything I've just said in mind. Look, if you are really super hardcore desperate to have official app support for whatever, automatically I will say not for the you at all. But I think I can do it. As long as I've got access to a web browser, as long as I've got access to some tunes. I'd like the camera, but I can already say that, for me at least, doesn't seem to work right now. Yeah, emails, bit of music, camera would be nice, but there ain't one. Yeah, so I'm going to be using, for this month, it's Manjaro ARM with the Plasma mobile environment on it. I think there are two variants of Manjaro ARM, although I could be wrong, for the PinePhone. One of them is Phosh and one of them is Plasma. I believe that the Manjaro Plasma edition is the one that's going to ship with all of the beta versions of the phone. It's the most fully featured of the operating systems, and that's that. I'm also going to have it flashed to the micro SD card. The PinePhone has this wonderful ability to boot from either the internal memory or from a micro SD card. I've got a 64 gig micro SD card in there with the operating system and some little bits and bobs on there. Like I said, I've already put some tunes on here. I put plenty of black metal on there, so I'll be pretty good. And there's that. Why put it on the micro SD card though? Simply because if anything does go wrong and I would like to get my data off the device, I don't have to do any fluff to hook it up to a computer and do anything. I can just literally go crack off the back and take the thing off. So other bonuses to this. So if I just shut this down quickly. There we go. Power it down. For anyone that doesn't know, just in case, I won't go like a full overview. I'm not going to give you specs. It's not important. Some key things that set this apart from a lot of other phones on the market. Just so you can see, there's the KDE Plasma thing as I'm shutting it down. This is not super fast. It is not super powerful. It doesn't have a huge amount of RAM. It doesn't have, massively fast, processors and all that. It's not a thing. Right. Main thing that sets it apart right there. Bam. You can take the back off. Not only can you take the back off, you can remove the battery. These are pretty standard batteries. The guys at Pine64 sell replacement batteries, but I believe this is like a kind of Samsung battery, although I'm not entirely sure of the model. But you can buy replacement batteries. Fantastic. One less thing to go to landfill. The phone, this entire backplate here can also be removed. So you can remove this, and you see this wonderful little silver bit here. This entire piece can come out, and that is, if I remember correctly, that is your storage and your RAM. That can be removed and replaced. They have, what is this one? This is the 3 gig RAM, 32 gig. They have a 2 gig of RAM with 16 gig, and I believe they have like 128 gig something. One, I think, I haven't checked, but you can upgrade that. You can just pull, not, I think you can upgrade it, you can upgrade it, because they were offering discounts for certain things. Like if you had one of the Braveheart editions, you could buy an upgrade at a discounted price. Yeah, so you can unscrew all this, lift all this off, and replace that if you so wish. I've also seen that they sell the camera as an optional extra, and many of the other parts in this phone can just be flat out replaced by going to the website. Fantastic. Repairable, parts are replaceable, and minus a chip shortage, well, by chip shortage right now, readily available parts. Oh, there's also a bunch of, you can't really see them, and I'm not going to hold them up to the camera. By my finger, there's a bunch of dip switches. If you're one of those super hardcore tinfoil hat folks, which from time to time I can be, you can literally hardware disable parts of this phone. Now, I haven't got me speckies on. Where are they? I just took them off. Alright, you've got a bunch of dip switches that you can use to turn... Man, that is well small. That is way small. So you've got modem, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, microphone, rear camera, front camera, and is that the, what, headphone socket? Is that a headphone socket? I can't read it. I'm blinded. I'm old, okay? And then there's a nice little reset button there for you to jab that I've never done. Maybe I should. And the pogo pins, not entirely sure what they're for, but they're there for something at some point. Yeah, so if there's ever a point when you want to disable things on this phone, for whatever reason, you can. So, like, I don't know, let's say you wanted to hand this to a kid for whatever reason, you can literally just hardware disable the cameras on it. You can hard disable, the microphone on it. So if you don't want them to go into like chat apps and stuff like that, you can disable it. Just turn it into a little tablet or whatever. Or if, I don't know, you're a super spy and you don't want to get caught, I don't know, stealing the toothbrushes and the towels at your hotel, just disable your fluff to make sure you're extra secure. But options, I just want to throw that out there because that's some of the stuff that separates this phone from other stuff. Now, when I first got this phone, you couldn't make calls. In recent history, that's become a thing. Literally within, for me at least, in the last month, I busted this out. Probably actually maybe only a fortnight ago or so. You couldn't make calls. And then they pushed an update, and I'm getting updates like every day. I could make calls, and that's where it was decided. I'm going to try and make this a daily driver. Texts work, calls work. Great. Okay. Some things I know not to work. For me, at least, rear camera doesn't work. Front camera kind of works. I'm going to be really pissy with this. Seeing as it's Linux based, I'm going to go Bluetooth audio. If I'm listening to tunes, I'm going to go Bluetooth audio. It does have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Very nice, thank you. But I'm going to go Bluetooth because Linux has this thing about kind of being not great with Bluetooth. When Bluetooth works, it's great. When it don't, you're kind of out of luck. So I'm going Bluetooth. I'll go Bluetooth with audio, and I will basically just go through as this month goes on. I'm not going to do daily updates. I might just come back in a week's time and go, yeah, this is how I've been using it. This is the app that maybe it shipped with. Maybe I liked or didn't like it. I stuck with it, or I changed to this one. Or I tried XYZ app, it doesn't scale. Or I did this, it broke the phone. I'm not going to go super hardcore into hacking the phone. And I say hacking the phone, like going in and tweaking software and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to try and use it as a general user would, and just report back on things that do and don't work. So, and then see where the updates go. I mean, I can just throw out that that's one thing that really rags me off at the moment too. So I've just restarted it, and it's now telling me that my screen brightness has just defaulted back to the absolute minimum, which is absolute balls when you go outside because you can't see anything. So I've just pop that back up. But yeah, there might be a few things I do. Like I am going to dick around in the terminal, but not a huge amount. But yeah, we'll just try a bunch of apps, see what works. To say, don't expect this to ever get to the point where it's competing with like the Android marketplace or iOS, because it's the same way Linux doesn't have all of the fancy applications that you may or may not want. You have to go for third-party alternatives if they're available. I will check a bunch, and if they work, great. If they don't, I'll throw it out there. If they get updated and work, great. But this is going to, for me, this is going to be usable. Just give me a web browser, email, some tunes, and we'll see from there. 1 month, Manjaro Plasma. Yeah. Manjaro Plasma PinePhone. It's a 200 quid phone. 200 quid phone, and that's with, well, it's not even £200, it's $200. And that's with a dock. With the little dongly thingy that you connect into the bottom that they sell for like 30 or 40 quid on top. Base model of the phone's about 150. Yeah. I've already made a couple of videos about this, so if you want to check those out too, go for it. See how usable this is as a daily driver. My usual daily driver, in case anyone is curious, is a Pixel 4a 5G model. Ooh, Stadia games updated. Fantastic. There won't be any Stadia support on this thing, I can guarantee you that. And there won't be an Instagram app on here either. So let's ignore that. But I have hopes for this. For a certain kind of user, I think this will be fine. I'm just saying that in advance. I don't even need a month to be able to tell you that. Because the people who can adapt to using Linux are going to be the kind of people who can adapt to using this. Folks who are like, but I need insert thing here, are probably going to struggle with this if they even try it. So let's just see how it matures. That's the point. I want to see how this matures over the month. As I said, it's literally been within a few weeks to a month that 1 minute I couldn't make calls and I tried it, to I can make calls. Interesting. So join me on this one. So it won't be daily. I'll probably make 4 videos over the next month to just talk about different bits. I like the phone. Let's just see how they get on with it. I don't expect stuff like iCloud or Google Backup or anything like that with this. You're going to have to set up like your own cloud or Nextcloud instance or something like that. I think you can sync it with Googly stuff, but we'll give all that a go. We'll give all that a go. If there's anything people would like me to try, or if they have any questions, I'll try and answer as best I can, and I'll try as best I can. If you're going to ask me to go super technical on it, don't. But for most other stuff, I'll take a crack. Wish me luck. It's going to be a pair of Bluetooth headphones and that. Unlike my last run, my detox, where it was like a Nokia 105, which then turned into a BlackBerry. It didn't literally turn into a BlackBerry. A SanDisk ClipSport MP3 player. And a separate camera. I'm going to try and do as much of it with just this and Bluetooth headphones and I don't know. I'll have to have another camera with me, I think, because I cannot get the back camera to work on this at all. Even though other people have done it, I don't know if maybe mine's broken, because I've seen other people do it, but on mine just it's not having it. In fact, it even makes an audible pop when you set it to the back camera. So, don't know if maybe I dropped it, but yeah, it's alright. So, wish me luck. Hope you're all 1 month PinePhone. I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one. The fact you can just tear that down, it's rad. Just saying.